Hello, and welcome to Spin the Wheel. Today we're going to do exactly what I just said, spinning a wheel to build a commander deck. How am I going to do that? I don't know, because I'm as dumb as a rock, but rocks are rock solid, just like me, so let's get milking, shall we? Hey, that kind of rhymes. Anyway, I will spin 5 or so wheels, a challenge wheel to set a deck building challenge for us, a wheel for the color identity, and a wheel for the bracket, budget, and amounts of cards we can have for each type. I'll also roll a wheel for stuff like game changers and combos. I will be building the deck on Moxfield as we go, and of course, I'll post a link in the description if you want to check out the whole deck list. Before we get started, my channel is rather new, so I'm trying out new things to see what sticks. So if you want to see more spin the wheel videos, then make sure to like and subscribe. First of all, I'm going to spin the challenge wheel. I came up with 10 different challenges, and I'll have to build a deck with them in mind, so let's see which one we get. Permanents only. Alright, so basically that means that the only cards that I can have in my deck are permanent cards. That means no instants or sorceries. Okay, moving on to our next wheel. Colors. This will determine what colors I'll use while building the deck. And I'll also decide what commander I want to use. Of course, colorless is fair game, so let's spin. Alright, it looks like we have 32 entries. Is that right? Yes, 32 entries. All right. Jeskai. Jeskai is red, white, and blue, just like America. So let's take a look at the top Jeskai commanders. Ooh, look at this. Permanents only would be awesome if you give them to your opponents, wouldn't it? I think I'm going to build Zedru, the great hearted. Ah, okay. Well, yeah, this is what I'm going with. Alright, so Zedru the Great Hearted is going to be our first commander. And next we have the bracket wheel. For this one, I'm going to try and follow the bracket rules. For instance, if I get bracket 4, it has to be a bracket 4 deck with at least 3 game changers, 2 card infinite combos, or mass land denial. Alright, let's spin the wheel. This time we only have 4. Oh, great. And we got bracket 4. All right. Awesome. This is either going to be the shittiest deck I've ever built or it's going to be amazing. So bracket 4 is optimized. High power commander. It has no restrictions other than the banned list. So, yeah. But technically, for it to be bracket 4 and not bracket 3, it has to be more powerful than a bracket 3, meaning there are 4 ways to make it a bracket 4 instead of bracket 3. That is mass land denial, chaining extra turns, early game 2 card infinite combos, and more than 3 game changers. Alright, next we're going to spin for the amount of game changers. We got the lowest amount, 3 game changers. So unfortunately, having 3 game changers does not make it a bracket 4. So we're going to roll for the amount of infinite combos in our deck. If we get 0, okay, 3. So I think our first game changer is gonna be Farewell. I think our next one is gonna be Cyclonic Rift. I think Fierce Guardianship. Fierce. Let's just hope that we get a good budget, because we got our 3 game changers. Alright, let's look at... Ooh. What does this do? Each opponent loses the game. What? You don't lose the game for having 0 less life. When you have 20 or more life, you lose the game. Whenever you lose life, you gain 2 life for each 1 life you lost. Exile target non-land permanent. Each player. Huh. How does that work? I'm not gonna do this one because it's far too expensive anyway. Wait, combos. Okay, so we can get 2 combos off of here because Zirdu has a combo with Transcendence, and you can even use Fractured Identity as well. Transcendence. Okay, so 2 combos down. And this one's kind of funny, actually. Perfect for this commander. So you want Knowledge Pool, Moderation. So you want Knowledge Pool, Moderation, and your commander, making it basically a 2.5 card combo. Alright, so we have all of our cards added up, our 3 Game Changers, Moderation, Transcendence, Knowledge Pool, and Fractured Identity to combo off with your commander. Okay, now we have a budget wheel. I decided to make it a little easier and made the budget options anywhere from $50 to $1,000. The budget is a little tricky to get it exactly right, so I'll be rounding to whatever the budget is, and I'll be going with the cheapest card version on Moxfield. But of course, $50 is going to be insanely hard to build bracket 4 with. So let's see how that works. Alright, let's see what our budget is. Oh good, we got $800. So that means that we can go up to 800, which we're already at 100. So $700 more to go. Next is the card type wheel. Lands are not included in this because the lands will be used as filler cards, but the budget will still decide what kind of lands I'll be using. Then after I spin the card type wheel, I'll spin another wheel to see how many cards of that type I can have in my deck. I'll have it set from 0 to 40, but if there's not enough space left in the deck, I'll reduce it. Alright, so let's see what we get. Okay, up first, enchantment. How many enchantments can we have? Ooh, 16 to 20 enchantments. Alright, let's see what we get next. Okay, battles up next. Let's see how many battles we have to have. $31 to $35. Okay, so 31 to 35 battles. Oops, I forgot to remove battle. Oh, I also forgot to remove instants and sorceries. Let's try that one more time. Planeswalker. Okay. Not bad, not bad. 1 to 5 Planeswalkers. I already tell this deck is gonna suck. Oh. Well, let me try that one more time. I already know this deck is gonna suck. Artifacts. See how many artifacts we can have. Again, 16 to 20 artifacts. Alright. I think I put that in there by accident. Let's take that out. Okay, let's try this again. Again. Oh, I wonder what we're gonna get for creatures. Okay. Creatures, let's go. 6 to 10. A little low, but that's alright. We have exactly 60 permanents. So that means we'll have 40 lands. We have 16 through 20 enchantments, 31 to 35 battles, 1 to 5 planeswalkers, 16 to 20 artifacts, and 6 to 10 creatures. Okay, that is every wheel done. Now I'll pick what cards I'm going to use and my thoughts behind my choices. Hello and welcome back. Um, so first things first, I changed the game changers out. I have Ancient Tomb, Smothering Tithe, and Chrome Mox. So last time I chose 3 game changers. I forget the third one, but I had Farewell and Fierce Guardianship, which are both, of course, instants and sorceries. So obviously with our challenge we can't use those. And also for our combos, I had to change one of them because it used a sorcery as well. So I have a new combo here. So combo number 3 is Knowledge Pool and Vexing Bauble. Now we have 3 combos total. That's what we rolled. 3 game changers. And of course, neither of these 3 combos are bracket 3 viable, so it makes it a bracket 4 deck. Also, I think I have some kind of lane destruction here, I don't know. Also, big change. Battles. There's only 18 battles available to me. So I put every single battle available in here, even though a lot of them actually just do not do anything for this deck at all, which probably makes it very unoptimized. So as you can see, I added every single battle here because we were supposed to add 32 battles, but I only added 18. So that's a big change, and don't say I'm cheating because there's nothing I can do about this. If I had more than one of each of these, it wouldn't be legal, so we can't do that. So as you can see, 30 lands, 20 enchantments, 9 creatures, 16 artifacts, 18 battles, and 5 planeswalkers. For this cursed battle grip hug deck, I went with the stack strategy. Since I only have 30 lands available, I had to put some heavy mana ramp using cards like Ancient Tomb, As Foretold, Smothering Tithe, Bucknard's Ever Full Purse, which is pretty neat because it allows you to make up to 4 treasure tokens then give it to an opponent, Chromatic Lantern to fix mana, Chrome Mox, Decanter of Endless Water, which is 1 mana more than Thought Vessel, but since we have a mana problem, it's useful since it makes mana of any color. Gilded Lotus and Thran Dynamo for some heavy hitting ramp. Hithlane Rope, which allows you to land ramp, then pass it to the next guy. Pendant of Prosperity to put extra lands down and also give it to the next guy. Zidane Tantalus Reef to make treasure tokens whenever we pass stuff to our opponents. Narset of the Ancient Way, which is actually kind of lame. And I guess that's pretty much it for ramp, besides the ones I purposely skipped over. Then we have our stacks cards. Aggressive Mining to cuck our opponents from playing lands when we dump the shit on their doorstep. And this also counts as bracket 4 mass land denial. Knowledge Pool, which we combo with a couple cards to stop players from casting spells. Propaganda and Ghostly Prison. Statecraft, which when we give it to our opponents, their creatures can no longer deal damage. Steel Golem and Grid Monitor. These shitbags don't allow you to play creatures. Glad they're not on our side. And Rust Elemental, which makes you sacrifice artifacts until you can't, and then it starts damaging you. Then we have the garbage that we throw on the boomer's lawn. Stuff like 18 fucking battles that are almost completely useless and more of a distraction than anything. A Koran Horse to generate us tokens. Bronze Bombshell to terrorize our opponents. Literally. Karn, the Betrayer, which allows us to draw cards even though we don't need any more cards because our commander gives us like a billion cards. Goodnight Castigator, which doubles all the damage dealt to you. Form of the Dragon, which makes your life total 5. 9 Lives, which makes you lose the game if your life total is 20 or more. And then of course, Jinxed Choker and Jinxed Idol, which deal damage to you every turn. I also put Teferi Master of Time in here, which does better the more opponents you have, so it gets us some extra turns. Healy to make tokens whenever we cast non-creature spells, And Zariel, Archduke of Avernus, which buffs creatures, generates tokens, and gives us extra combats. Iroh Tea Master allows us to give our stuff away and get creature tokens out of it. Perplexing Chimera lets us exchange him for ownership of any spell on the stack and change the target, like a redirect. And Puka's Mischief lets us exchange control of our creatures for an opponent's creature. The battle's really fucked over this deck, because it barely functions. I had no choice but to cut lands to make up for all these damn battles. Battles like Invasion of Arcavios do literally nothing because its abilities revolve around searching for instants/sorceries or copying them, which would be pretty useful except we don't have any of those at all. So most likely, we gift it to an opponent to hopefully convince them not to attack us. Actually, I think that would be the overall strategy for battles, especially for decks that need attack triggers. Players like that are hard to negotiate with, so here's a battle. And now they can have their attack triggers without attacking us directly. I think the deck would be playable if you took out most of the battles, all of the expensive cards, and added more lands. 18 battles is borderline ridiculous, but also ridiculously hilarious. What do you guys think? Would you make any changes to this deck? Or any funny challenges you would like me to try? As always, let me know in the comments. Well, that's about it for the Spin the Wheel challenge. Now you should know how to spin a fucking wheel. Good luck, and you're welcome. Wait, my classic outro doesn't really work with this video. Hey, is the screen getting darker? I'm not done talking yet. Hello? Can you still hear me? Hello? Who turned off the lights?